From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. The 988 National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline will stop providing tailored support options to LGBTQ plus youth and young adults on July 17th, according to a statement on a federal agency's website. The decision preempts the Trump administration's 2026 budget proposal to cut funding for 988's LGBTQ plus youth and young adult services and is raising alarm bells among LGBTQ plus advocates. Federal data shows the LGBTQ plus youth program has served nearly 1.3 million callers since it started in September 2022. The services were accessible under the Press 3 option on the phone by replying Pride via text. The decision was made to no longer silo the services and to, quote, focus on serving all help seekers, including those previously served through the Press 3 option, end quote. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration said in a statement dated Tuesday on its website. News of the LGBTQ plus service shutting down comes as the U.S. Supreme Court upheld Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for transgender minors on Wednesday. The Trevor Project said it received official notice Tuesday that the program was ending. The nonprofit is one of 7 centers that provides 988 crisis support services for the LGBTQ plus community and serves nearly half of the people who contact the Lifeline. Suicide prevention is about people, not politics, Trevor Project CEO James Black said in a statement Wednesday. The administration's decision to remove a bipartisan, evidence-based service that has effectively supported a high-risk group of young people through their darkest moments is incomprehensible. In its statement on the 988 decision, the SAMHSA, or Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, referred to the LGB plus youth services. Of course, the T and the Q were deliberately left off. Thanks, federal government. And if you thought Canada had a similar suicide prevention line for U.S. callers, think again. A viral post on X, formerly Twitter, has falsely claimed that Canada has launched a suicide crisis line for LGBTQ plus Americans in the wake of news that federal cuts were coming to the United States 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The post shared Sunday by an anonymous user reads, as Trump shuts down the suicide hotline, Canada has broadcasted their national hotline, which now has a toll-free American version, 1-877-330-6366. It has been viewed more than 2.5 million times. It has since been flagged with a community note, which is user-generated, fact-checking that X has implemented. However, the number listed, 1-877-330-6366, does not connect to a Canadian government service. Instead, it connects to a Trans Lifeline, a nonprofit, peer-led support line that has served both American and Canadian transgender people since 2014. No new Canadian hotline has been created for LGBTQ plus Americans. The spread of misinformation comes amid real concern about mental health resources for LGBTQ plus people under attack in the United States. As the Advocate reported Monday, the Trump administration is proposing eliminating funding that the Biden administration allotted for specialized LGBTQ plus services under the 988 Lifeline, sparking fears about reduced access to trained counselors at a time of heightened risk for queer and trans youth. Although 988 remains active for now, LGBTQ plus callers may no longer have reliable access to affirming identity-specific crisis support through the federal system. And finally, the Los Angeles Dodgers organization said Thursday it asked federal immigration agents to leave the Dodgers stadium grounds after they arrived at a parking lot near one of the gates. Dozens of federal agents with their faces covered in SUVs and cargo vans to a lot near the stadium's Gate E entrance. A group of protesters carrying signs against U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement started amassing shortly after, local media reported. This morning, ICE agents came to Dodgers Stadium, that is Thursday morning, and requested permission to access the parking lots. They were denied entry to the grounds by the organization, the team said in a statement posted on X. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement posted on X that its agents were never there. That's crap. Tricia McLaughlin, a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, said the agents were with Customs and Border Protection and that they were not trying to enter the stadium. Los Angeles is at least an hour and a half to 2 hours from the nearest border. What the hell? Anyway, that's the news at this hour. If you are watching our newscasts and News Blast videos on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Download the Live 365 app to take us wherever you go. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.